Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to the channel RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and welcome to another episode where we get to talk about movies and TV shows into tabletop RPGs. Why are we doing this? Well, it's a passion of mine, and I've been away from the channel for quite a while, so I thought we would just do a soft reboot of sorts, get back into things, and it being a passion of mine, just to give you a little bit more context, that over this past year, many of us at home, new streaming services out there, and I guarantee you, many of us have wasted our hard-earned time and energy digesting things that are like where we'll never get that time back. Excellent premises, terrible executions, and so I thought we'd go into it. Now, yesterday's stream we've had a little bit of a fumble, and I don't think we got a chance to really talk about the whole aspect of the mystery box, so I thought we would revisit it again today. So, allow me to demonstrate to you through a game show the reason why only the mystery box, and not mysteries themselves, but the mystery box does or does not work. So, there is a game show known as, it just went out of my head. Wayne Brady is the host of it. And in this game show, that's actually been around for quite a while, and for some reason my brain is farting. In this game show, contestants arrive, and listen, this is going to be a very elegant, I think, in my mind anyway, parallel with role-playing games. All right, so this parallel with role-playing games is this show. I was about to say, whose line is it anyway? Let's make a deal. Wow, my brain just went. In this game show, contestants arrive, and they are picked with, lots of energy and passion. And one of the one of the things in the show is that they get to dress up. They get to cosplay in a way, in an ironic kind of way, and funny way, to go on the show, i.e., they become player characters. And when they arrive on the show, the host of the show offers them things. And on this game show, a lot of times there is a mystery box. Hey, would you like what's behind the curtain or what's behind the box? Do you want to know what's in the box? And of course, everyone's excited and they're like, ooh, maybe there's a gift. But they're also told, ooh, it might be a zonk. It might be something that you don't want in the box. And the show proceeds to offer people, say, cash. I'll give you $500, or you can take what's behind the curtain. I'll give you $1,000, or you can pick what's in the box. You can take the box or hand it to another contestant and then leave with something. Okay, so it goes on and on and on. And the beauty of the game show is that in the game show, you are offered something: money, trips, a spa, bicycles, a car. You're offered a lot of these gifts, or being given the chance to see what's behind or what's inside the mystery box. Now, as a gamble, you may get something that's quite remarkable, or you might get zonked. But in the course of the show, they also offer you something tangible: cash, prizes. They give you options. And so while there is a mystery box, you're also given, well, a gift. And you have the option to go after what's in the mystery box. How this show would not work, and why it is that so many people get frustrated with the mystery box idea or trope, is that imagine if you had a game show where someone says, hey, I have a mysterious box. Do you want to know what's in the box? And of course, everyone's like, yay! And they say, okay, here's a clue. The object or item in the box fires projectiles. And you go, ooh, maybe it's a laser rifle or some kind of railgun, or maybe it's a Nerf pistol. You know, maybe it's a pea shooter. It's a straw with with chewed up bits of toilet paper in it or something. You know, we don't know. It might be a zonk. It might be a thing. And you go, okay, well, and you're thinking, and then they say, okay, or I can show you what's in this other mystery box. Ooh, there's two mystery boxes. Okay. All right. Which one would you choose? Well, can I get a clue for the other box? Yes. The clue for the other box is vegetable. You go, ooh, vegetable. It could be a carrot. It could be a trip to a Caribbean island that has plantations on it. I don't know. Well, okay. I'll pick the projectile box, and they lift up the cover of the box, and ooh, there's another box underneath. You go, what? Okay. All right. Well, can I pick the vegetable box? Oh, I don't know. Do you want to? Can I get a clue? You told me it was a projectile, but there's a mystery box, another mystery box. Yes. So do you want the vegetable box, or do you want this new box? Can I get a clue for the new box? Yes. The new box is faster than light. Like, ooh, what's faster than light? Is it a starship or something? Is it keys to a starship? I don't know. All right, I'll pick the faster than light. You don't want the box that with the clue of vegetable? No, I want the faster than light. Okay. You lift up the cover, and there's yet another box underneath it, and you go, wow, there's another box. And now everyone is like, well, wait, okay, so is there anything in the mystery box? Yes, there is something in the mystery box. Okay, so you told me it shoots projectiles, and then you said it's like faster than light, and you told me the other one was vegetable. If I pick the vegetable box, like, am I going to get a vegetable? Yeah, I can't promise you that, but it will be a mystery. All right, I'll pick the box with the clue of vegetable. They lift up the box. It's another box. Ooh, and okay, now you just want to punch the host in the face, and that's the problem with the mystery box, is that there's nothing wrong with mysteries themselves, but there are media out there that have concepts, or they have a premise built around them, and the premise built around them is a mystery, but they don't offer really any clues. I'm going to give you two divergently different movies that do the same thing. Groundhog Day, a very classic, funny movie where the day keeps repeating for our main protagonist, and I give to you A Quiet Place, of aliens that are out to ravage any living thing that makes a sound that it can hear from miles off, super sensitive hearing, and rips them to shreds. Now, yeah, right. Like Rickard Johansson says, "Yo, dog, I heard you like mystery boxes, so I put a mystery box in your mystery box." Yeah, right. I mean, it's one thing to dangle a mystery in front of someone, and we all get excited about that. Actually, for example, the here in the States, the propensity for mail order mystery boxes is a thing, right? There are plenty of companies that you can sign up to get a mystery box of items delivered to you, but they're not really mystery boxes, are they? Right? Most of them are thematic. Oh, I get a mysterious wine or beer or coffee. I get sci-fi items that are, I get geeky items that, maybe some people like plants or whatever, or jewelry. Hey, I make handmade jewelry. I'd love to have a mystery box of handmade. So not only are there clues, but there's a payoff at the end. Deadman says the correct way to handle that would be to give the players a little reward after each choice with a new mystery added to it. Exactly. Okay, so if you lift the mystery box and you go, ooh, it fires projectiles, and you lift up the box and it's like, ooh, there is a laser pistol inside, but there's also a data chip. Ooh, I get a laser pistol. I mean, that's good. I've got a laser pistol already, but I mean, another one's not bad. But a data chip? What's on the data chip? You don't know, right? So giving a reward now, mind you, that's a I don't consider that a mystery box. I consider that a mystery. A mystery box is something that's unknowable, and despite the machinations of the players, the answer still is never forthcoming. Now, like I mentioned with with the two opposite movies, Groundhog Day and A Quiet Place, both of those have premises that are unanswerable. Groundhog Day, the comedy, where a guy keeps waking up and the day keeps repeating. The reason why that's not technically a mystery box in my definition is because the movie never sets up a premise where we're trying to discover why it happened. Okay, it's background filler. It is the premise that sets up the story that we're engaging in, but the reason why it happened has no bearing. Okay, all we know is that the story keeps repeating over and over. I mean, the day keeps repeating over and over again. In Groundhog Day, we don't have the main protagonist trying to uncover why it happened. We don't have a um, mystical entity. We're not given clues as to the science of it. We know is this person wakes up and the day keeps happening. Yeah, I mean, yes, there is some pseudo Punxsutawney Phil crap added to it, but honestly, we never know and we don't care. The story involves other things going on. Rickard says Groundhog Day is a great example where the mystery is not the point of the story. It's just a plot device or set dressing, like you mentioned the other day. Exactly. The movie doesn't focus on why the day loops, only how Phil handles it. Exactly. And that's why I brought up A Quiet Place. Aliens ravaging people that make noise. Right? Are we ever given an example of where these things come from? Are they really aliens? I'm assuming they're aliens, but we don't really know where do they come from? Why are they killing human beings in the first place? Is sound has something to do with where they come from? They could be genetic manipulations. They could be Cthulhuoid entities from a dimensional aperture. We don't know and we don't care. Right? That's not the point. It's the set dressing. I give you a whole genre of storytelling where the reason why the thing happens doesn't matter. Nearly every post-apocalyptic story, all the whole entire Mad Max run, do are we given a reason why the world was destroyed? Yeah. It's that B-roll stuff where they give you a montage of like humanity destroying itself. There's always those free, what is it? The free videos where you see a nuclear explosion, riots, burning buildings, uh, whatever. You see the montage of destruction, and someone goes, "What was the last?" Mad Max Fury Road says, "Humanity killed the world." Right? Okay, whatever. Was it nuclear war? Yeah, maybe. Was it nanotech? I don't know. Does it really matter? Was it ecological destruction or what World War III? Does it really matter? No, no. You're given a premise, and that's the set dressing. So there are mysteries and our premises that where there is a possible answer, but the answer doesn't matter. The problem with the mystery box is giving clues to the mystery, and then there's no payoff. Now, I can hear some of you going, well, then what if I have a great premise and I really don't know the answer, but my player characters are pushing me to find an answer? And now that can happen. That can happen plenty of times. And in these mystery box TV tropes, like as was mentioned before by Tesla Ranger, who puts in, and I'll read it again, the success of Lost inspired network TV to commission a slew of imitators. The event, Jericho, Surface, Terra Nova, Invasion, Flash Forward, Revolution, and J.J. Abrams' follow-up show Alcatraz. And I'm sure, and listen, we mentioned a bunch of honorable mentions, such as Prison Break. Wow, I mean, actually, my mind is kind of going over a number of these mystery box shows where I brought up Manifest as one that I was starting to hate watch because there's another series. It has different names in different countries. It's called like The Returned, where people who have passed away come back to life and come. Well, we don't know if they come back to life. People have passed away and they return to town as if a day hasn't passed by, but days, months, and years have passed since those people have died, and they come back to the town. And you're like, okay, so they come up with a premise and they want to tell the story of interpersonal relationships, but they keep dropping hints as to why the event happened. As a matter of fact, they almost always universally have a protagonist that's trying to uncover why the thing happened. And the writers don't know why, right? And so the protagonists in the stories keep trying to uncover why, what happened, why, what happened, why. And the writers just keep kicking the clues and the answer down the road, waiting for the next writer to come up with something. And there's this jumbled mess and you're just rolling your eyes like, oh my God, like there's no way. And that's why those shows failed, and not just failed, but ruined our expectations of those mystery box shows, because it's one thing to have a mystery unravel. It's another to have a mystery and even the writers themselves don't know the answer, you know? Yeah, Rickard says basically you ask what if X exists or happens, what would that mean for the world? And then you answer the what that would mean part, not caring about what caused X to exist or happen. Yeah, exactly. Like great sci-fi has always been what if. I mean, you guys know I love transhumanism and all that kind of stuff, but really science fiction has always been speculative. What if we had time travel? What if we had immortality? What if we had faster than light? What if aliens arrived in our atmosphere? And then the idea is to say, okay, we're going to delve into how does the world change? What does it mean for maybe sometimes the stories are very small. What does it mean for us on a personal level? Like I brought up the television show The Leftovers. It had 3 seasons. And The Leftovers was, what if the rapture happened and 2% of humanity disappeared? Now, is it really the rapture? We don't know. But a lot of people cloak it in these metaphysical ideas, and so they start to have these conversations. And so you have something called like a bottle story, where we're almost not even worried about the rest of the world. It's our small 5 to 10 person trope. We have interpersonal connections, love and hate and all that. Hey, Harry, what's going on here, youngster? Hey man, I don't cuss at you like that. Yeah, good to see you. And thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Perfect for some coffee. As a matter of fact, I'm going to need it. Although I'm not I don't have my coffee, but I am drinking a nutritional drink as well. Although I do have some chocolate almond milk downstairs. They need to the speculation of how does the world change? And mind you, in science fiction, we've seen this story spread out, right? Where aliens come to Earth. We don't know why they're here. Like District 9. District 9, a beautifully executed movie of aliens that come to Earth. And do we know where they came from or why it is that they were somehow refugees and they have high technology, but they're living on Earth and they were starving? And we don't really know why, but it was an allegory to tell another story, right? And District 9 had lots of questions we had, but man, they kept dropping a lot of answers, dude. And like Deadman brought up earlier, like, you know, the correct way to handle it would be to give the players a little reward after each choice with a new mystery. And sometimes the reward doesn't answer the mystery at all, but we get a reward. So an example would be, Okay, let's do the aliens thing again. Aliens come to Earth and they start. Um, uh, this might have been in the show Invasion, and I think we've seen this with other low budget sci-fi shows where aliens come to Earth and they start kidnapping humanity, and we don't know why they're here, but the protagonists are, they're gathering their army together and they're resistance fighters and they save their loved ones from the encampment that the aliens have, and so they're given a reward. I got to save my lost loved one. And good death. Hey there. Good morning over there in the chat. I mean, in the Twitch. Um, Yep, Harry Shore brings up Alien Nation and the Invaders. V is I think the show V, both both the reboot and the original V, I I'm putting it in the category of excellent premise, terrible execution. Alien Nation is perfect for the way it was, and I think Alienation could do for a reboot, or maybe not even a reboot, but like, oh, what's Alienation like 25, 30 years later? I would love to see something like that. And again, yeah, if our protagonists are moving our story along and they still can't uncover the mystery, I think that's still okay because they get to save their loved ones. They get to make a safe haven from the aliens. But we still don't know why they're here. And the whole idea might just be how does, like I brought it with post-apocalyptic settings, we don't know why the post-apocalypse happened. What we're trying to figure out is what is humanity when society falls? That's usually what it is. Rickard says, if you want to do a mystery as an inciting incident, be upfront with your players about it. Let them know that the mystery isn't the point and you won't have an answer for it. Thank you. Damon Lindelof, like I mentioned before, David Lindelof has a love-hate relationship with writers and creators of all kinds. There's some people that cannot stand him, and J.J. Abrams and that whole, and other writers that are in that mystery box, that came out of that mystery box engine, because they tend to write things in a manner, they are organic writers. And some people, like I'm wearing a Game of Thrones shirt, where George R.R. Martin is a organic writer. Organic writers or stream of consciousness writers and creators don't know what the end result is. They allow the story to live and breathe on its own. And George R.R. Martin is notorious for in many, most of his interviews, mentioning that he writes characters and he lets them exist. And if they die because of their inactivity or bad choices or lack of knowledge, he kills his characters off. And he's like, you know what? This character backed themselves in a corner, dead. Now you could make the case that you might think that this is a mystery box writer, that George R.R. Martin is a mystery box writer, but no, he isn't. He gives you the answer. They fucked up. Oh well, dead. Your favorite character? Sorry, they're stupid. You know nothing, Jon Snow, right? Man, I would love to see another Alien Nation. I think today would be a great setting. I mean, considering how the world is going, Alien Nation, sci-fi speculation would be perfect today, and you could do twists on it. Rickard says, if you want to make a mystery, get your answers down before you start. You might not need to give the players the answer right straight up, but you should know to do it. You should know to do it. You can be vague and still make sense. Right, exactly. And Cameron says, Martin writes how I play solo TTRPGs. You know what? And there's nothing wrong. How many times, listen, in our beginning tabletop RPG career as running games, how many times did we go, you start in a village and you're going to go to the dungeon. And we never built the rest of the world out. It was created organically. We didn't make sense of what was going on later. We just started filling in the gaps as we went along. The difference with that is, even if you don't know what the end result is, you're still answering things, right? If you leave yourself open, like Cam picked with me yesterday. I'm not smarter than you guys at my gaming table. Maybe if I don't know the answer, but all of you guys come up with an answer of one I didn't think of. I'm like, yeah, whatever I was thinking of, crumple. You're right. It was the necromancer this whole time. And in my head, I'm going, oh, I really wanted to use a doppelganger, but I can't figure out how to fit them into the story. Nope. It was a necromancer. Like you guys said, wow, how'd you guess that? Right? You know? And if you're a real good dungeon master, you straight face the shit out of that, right? You're like, really? Is that what you guessed? That might be the answer. And at the end of the thing, you're just like, you're on your phone or you're typing it down like, they came up with a great ass shit. I'm gonna put this in the next game. You know, that's what you do, right? Rickard says the problem with pantsters, gardeners, is that you need more revisions or pruning to get to the work. Oh, yes. They normally don't get it right on the first try. Yeah, Cameron's like, oops, you're dead. Yeah, ASMR with DBJ. Scrape, scrape, crumple, crumple. You know what I should do? I should just start like gumming bananas. That'll be my new channel, gumming bananas. Defiance. Ooh, that's another one. Dead man with the mic drop. Like, yep. Defiance. That's a show that like you're going. Wait, where's this going again? What? I think I saw the first season and part of the second one. Life in the Sea of Defiance in a near future after the arrival of different alien life forms to Earth. Yeah. Oh my God. And now, again, there's nothing wrong with a mystery. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what the answer is, even. Sometimes we come up with a great premise, right? Like we go, what is it? The medieval gaming. Magic is dead. Magic returning to the world. The gods are dead. Dragons rule the world or something. We come up with a bunch of these premises. But I will contend to you that sometimes with a premise, I'm going to take this advice from a writer, a lady writer. She does sci-fi and fantasy. Her name is C.S. Friedman. And she used to put out these articles on her website. And one of the articles, because she would answer questions from a lot of her fans and things. And one of her answers to a question from one of her writers is, and I love the advice. She said, when she designs a world, she then proceeds to destroy it. And I love that advice. Let me get back into the chat. Rickard says, you as a DM, however, can't do revisions. So trying to pants or garden a mystery box will be whatever you come up with on the fly. Yeah, please don't do that. Yeah, like, and the thing is that because, like you said, we're not technically writers. You can't revise what you've already put out there into the world as a game master, right? We're one and done. It's almost like, could you imagine writing a television show where you're never able to edit what you wrote down? Like, there's no writer's room. You just turn the camera on and randomly go, okay, you walk through the door and what you say something, and a person goes, hey, Gretchen, you better hand over the money. And then Gretchen's like, I don't have any money. Like, what? It's like, whose line is it anyway? You can't film a whole TV show with a theme written one line at a time to make coherent sense as a whose line is it anyway. Now we love the show Whose Line Is It Anyway, but it's a comedy show. It doesn't have a coherent theme that runs throughout it, which would be hugely difficult. But that's what we do with tabletop games, right? It's the first thing that comes out your mouth, first thing you encounter, that's the story. I would contend that I agree with Rickard about, if you don't know the answer, let your players know up front. Either, hey guys, there's an alien species on the planet. You don't know where it came from. No one knows why. I don't know why. You just have to live with these things running around in the world. And as a player, I'd go, that's fine. Like, hey, I got this great idea for Call of Cthulhu, where Cthulhu has risen, and Cthulhu's creatures are, it's a post-apocalyptic world with Cthulhu's creatures running around. And I'm like, all right. And if the game master, what is it called? What are they called? Not storyteller. The keeper. If the keeper says, "Oh, by the way, you'll never put Cthulhu back in the bottle," right? And I'd play in that world. Oh, you mean really just about survival? It's not really about like undoing what Cthulhu did. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'll play in that. You know, um, yeah. Cameron says you can revise though. There will just be a player mutiny. Yeah, retcon the whole thing. Right? It was all a dream. Hey guys, remember those 8 levels you went up? Yeah, it was all in your imagination. Yeah, shit. Table flipping. Even if you're online, you're like, I'm gonna get a ticket to your house and flip a table just because of that. Yeah. Now, okay, so A, and this is always rule number one with role playing, maybe zero. Rule zero: talk to your players and say, "Hey, I've got this great idea. What do you guys think?" And they go, "Yeah, I like this idea." No, but getting back to C.S. Friedman about breaking your world, she says when she writes, she designs a world and then she proceeds to break it. And the reason why she says that is she'll come up with a premise, and one of the premises she has. Yeah, like Stranger Things, can't put that Cthulhu back in the bottle. Yep, too late. Um, so in one of her stories, I believe it was, I want to call it Season of the Witch, but that's not what the name of the series is called. So she wrote a series where all magi, all spellcasters in this medieval like world are, they have to give up their souls. And the soul is more like an energy. It's not really a thing. It's not like an astral projection. And in order to cast magic, every single spell ever cast takes away a little bit of life from someone they don't know. And so that's the whole premise of this setting. There are spellcasters and there's warriors and things like that. But the main thing is that there are these like witches and warlocks, and they cast spells. And whenever they cast a spell, someone they don't know loses a little bit of their life. And so there's people around the world, in this world, who suffer these illnesses, but they don't know why. And there's nothing that can stop the illnesses. And the magical people try to alleviate the illnesses, but they know why. They know what's happening. The victims are having their magic drained, their life energies drained from these spellcasters. Now, some of the spellcasters are pretty petty. They'll use magic to make sure their hair is coiffed and their clothing is nice, and their homes smell great, and dust moves out of their way, or they don't get rained on. They have a shield of rain around them. And mind you, every time they do this, they're killing someone just a little bit more. And it's the same person. And when that person dies, their magic links to somebody else that they start killing, and so on and so forth. And in the story, she proceeds to break it. Like, okay, well, what if you find out that the person you're draining is a person you find out that you know? Or what, can someone track who you are and stop what you're doing in your magic by threatening the person that you're draining their life from? Is there a way to heal these people and take back their magic or their life energies from their spellcast? She goes and she tries to break it. And I think sometimes in our mystery box settings, in designs, I think sometimes the writers don't try to break the system. The show Manifest that I was making fun of because I was hate watching it for a while is, a setting where, all right, plane flies back from the Caribbean, goes into the mysterious Bermuda Triangle, disappears for 5 years, lands on the tarmac unscathed 5 years later. People on plane do not age. It's as if they went through a storm and landed. So people have moved on after 5 years of their life. And I'm like, oh, great, cool. We don't even need to answer why this happened, but they proceeded to try to do it. And did the writers sit down in a room and go, okay, what happens when people question this? Right? Did they say, do we have an answer? And the writers go, no, we don't have an answer. Did they say, well, you know what? Maybe, did they decide maybe we shouldn't have protagonists literally whose job is to detectives trying to uncover what happened, which literally the story was about. No, they could have easily made the show about a family, the twins that are 5 years apart, the wife who remarried and she's got her ex fiance and her new fiance. They could have made this about interpersonal, right, relationships, not uncovering why the plane. But no, they wanted to have a procedural show, and I was just like, well, there's no way this is going to end well because they'll never find out the answer, and no one's getting any rewards. Yep. And Rickard says another take: mystery boxes. That isn't the main plot. It might become the plot later. Right. Yeah. Now, mind you, we sometimes there are times where a mystery box is thrown into something and it's small and it becomes a thing that we think about later. Okay, a perfect example: Star Trek. Star Trek. There are episodes in Star Trek where there is a mystery box and we never get an answer, but it moves on to another thing. And I think the reason why that works sometimes in like Star Trek, in Age of Sail type of shows where your group of protagonists is traveling from place to place and they uncover or stumble upon mysteries before moving on to yet another place. Um, Warehouse 13, um, Indiana, the Librarians, shows where each show has the protagonist uncovering yet another mystery. I don't think there's a problem having a mystery box as a one-off or a one take because how many times have we seen in Star Trek or like the Librarians or Warehouse 13 or something where there's an alien species we don't understand, or the what is the mysterious being Q comes upon the group, or there was an episode where a being shunts them into a extra dimensional space, and it's like, I want to know what death is. I'm only going to have to kill 2/3 of your crew to figure out what death is, and it's like, oh, we need to talk to you about what humanity is, and we should survive. And they leave. Do they answer what this mysterious being is? No. Can they find this mysterious being again later? Nope. Can they get back to the extra dimensional portal? Nope. But was that really the point? No, it was about arguing the merits of humanity, even though we are we are our worst enemies, right? Um, Sometimes in a show like Warehouse 13 or The Librarians, where you have a group of explorers going out into the world to bring back, uncover, collect, destroy, mitigate dangerous objects and or beings that are out there in the world. Maybe there's a magic item we don't understand how it works. It just mind controls people and makes them, I don't know. Every time they put the lapel pin on, they have no fear. And or every time they put the black and white movie into the movie reel, they get sucked into it. Or every time the blade is drawn, blood must be spilled or something. Do we really know the origin of these things? No. No. It's get the item, put it back in the warehouse, we proceed to the next one. So I don't really have, again, I think going back to what Dead Man says about giving a reward, I think it's okay if the box is there if there's rewards around it. Maybe the reward is being a kick-ass individual, running, jumping, swinging, punching people in the throat to get the dangerous item back to Warehouse 13, right? That's cool. You get to do some really cool stuff. Maybe it's a bad guy who is trying to collect these things at the same time and uncover what they do. And the bad guy is in the same position as the protagonist. And they're like, oh, drats, foiled again. If it wasn't for you meddling kids, I'd have gotten away with it, right? It's the Scooby crew, right? I think it's all right. I don't think I would classify that as a mystery box because I feel like the mystery box surrounds everyone and everyone and everything is inside of it rather than the mystery box being a small element inside of a larger world. That's how I rationalize it, and I could be wrong with other people. You guys might be thinking like, hell no, I don't think it should be there at all. But whatever. Rickard says the PCs need to protect the village against orcs, then recover an item from a lost tomb, etc. And every adventure has a breadcrumb that starts to set up the mystery. Exactly. And could that? Okay, here. Could the end of the mystery? We've seen the ends of mysteries be a closed loop, right? Where the the protagonists, the players, start to go on the mystery only to realize that the mystery comes back to themselves. Like, oh, the whole point of going on the adventure is to come back home and realize everything I've lost. Like we've heard those stories before. The hero that goes out into the larger world only to come back home. Um, Sometimes those can be tied up pretty terribly, but again, I still think that mystery still is concluded, right? Sure, they may think that there's something going on, but it circles right back around again. Um, and sometimes these mystery box elements where you don't know what the answer is, sometimes the answer could be right in front of your face. And we start to discover as we go along this journey where we don't know what the answer is, we go, you know what? Man, the answer's right back where we started, you know? So yeah. Cameron says, I kind of lost interest in Warehouse 13 when the male lead's worst thing he ever did was drive drunk and get his friend's leg busted. Driving drunk is serious, but it felt like a wet fish. You know what? Uh, we we've seen writers back themselves into a corner where they insert story elements because of course they can't answer the actual mystery, so they have to come up with these other um like I the only way I can think of it is clown antics, meaning like the main characters start doing things that are either out of character, or they have to put impediments in the main character's way that are ridiculous, you know, and a little bit over the top to keep the story going because it makes no sense. It's the um I know you guys. We are tabletop RPG, sci-fi, fantasy kind of thing, but they do this a ton in romantic and romantic comedies, right? Um, Two people want to get together in a romance, and the most idiotic thing happens. Here's a monkey wrench they always throw in. One person is seen talking with another person, and it looks like they're talking to another person and they're in love because the young lady puts her hand up to the man's face, or they see them kissing and the other person who's standing reasonably distant away sees them doing this thing and turns on their heels and goes, they don't love me anymore, blah, they're cheating on me, blah. And of course it's always misinterpreted, and one of the protagonists looks over and sees them walking away and they go, wait, hold on, it's not what you think. How many times, right? You got to throw these monkey wrenches in, and I hear you, Cam. I roll my eyes too. I almost get cramps and roll my eyes so hard, like, oh my god, is this again? Is it yet another relative that stops by with their bags uninvited to just stay with you or something? Another uncle, a dad, a brother, sister, something that happens in those type of shows. Yeah, it's like, can we get back to the mystery? Um, Cam says the first few sessions were really fun, and I love the female H.G. Wells character. Definitely put a twist on the origins of D&D. Yeah, yep. Rickard says maybe the orcs have a sigil on their armor that you as a DM didn't linger on, but then when the PCs are in the tomb, they see the sigil in the final chamber. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think breadcrumbs equal mystery box. I'm I'm gonna I don't have an answer for this, but I'm gonna say I don't believe a mystery box and breadcrumbs are the same thing. I'm gonna say breadcrumbs are there to be answered. Now we may not know the answer to it, but you have every intention of giving an answer to that breadcrumb. Wait, organically waiting for the answer to come about, right? Like Rickard mentioned, like the orcs have a sigil on their armor. You never lingered on it, but the PCs are like, wonder what that sigil means. And then later on, you're like, let me do a callback to that sigil. You see it in the final chamber of a tomb from some enemy. You know, it's 5 adventures later and 3 levels different. You know, and we do a callback. I don't consider that a mystery box because you're calling upon the breadcrumbs, and the players themselves are doing the callback, right? Like, I wonder where this leads to, and you're in your mind, you're like, man, I wonder where it does lead to. Oh, this is an organic way to continue that storyline. Boom, here's another clue. And does that mean that'll pay off? Maybe, maybe not, but you know, why not? Rickard goes on to say, so while the adventures themselves, it isn't about the mystery, after a few of these adventures, the PCs are clued into the fact that there is a mystery in play. Yeah, and this also, mind you, this gives us time to answer what's going on, right? Sometimes we just need some time. Now you don't have to ask your players, but sometimes you really, why not say to your players, guys, listen, let me take a bio break. I really don't know where this is going, so let me think of some ideas. And then you go to the shitter, and then you're like, oh, what makes sense here, right? or while this is very meta, hey guys, I made a Discord. Just put in some of your favorite ideas. Like, what do you think it is? And put in some of your ideas, right? Do that. You know, hey, there's a chat we set up. Drop, what does your character think that sigil means, right? Box in a box. Yeah, Mufa says, my D&D campaign setting is like that. The moon was broken and Lovecraftian horrors rained from the sky. Nobody knows what caused it. It's just a constant threat. Exactly. It's the premise that's important. It's not discovering why it happened or stopping it from happening or who did it. No, Lovecraftian horrors rain down, whatever. Yep, most of the party's adventures have nothing to do with it. Thundar the Barbarian. What's in the box? Exactly. Rickard says, what I'm saying is a mystery box can be found at the end of the breadcrumbs. Ooh. That's kind of a curse there. Yeah. Cam says, when I drop breadcrumbs, I describe them like billboards. It works about as well as barely mentioning a thing. Yeah, because listen, sometimes we have the best laid plans, and you're like, man, I've got all of my NPCs set up, and the most inane, unwritten, unplanned NPC you've ever come up with, the player characters gravitate to. And you're just like, don't! Oh! Why are you talking to the juggling gnome? I like the juggling gnome because he's funny. And you're just sitting back like, my God, what? Really? Okay, the juggling gnome's name is Poindexter. Cool. Can we take Poindexter on the adventure? Don't. Oh, you know, it's things like that. So yeah, yeah. What's in the box? Yeah. Oh my God. 7. What a great movie. I'll end the show with a mystery slash movie that I think absolutely encompasses a mystery and a mystery box and setting it up and answering it and everything like that. Rickard says, basically, you set up the real plot of the campaign, but it only comes into play after 3 to 5 smaller adventures. Yeah. Let's end on one note. There is a movie, The Sixth Sense. And that movie, surprisingly, in a day and age, now, social media wasn't as big as it is now, but at the time when The Sixth Sense came out, universally, everyone who saw that movie told their friends, you got to go see this movie. And I don't know how it was that we collectively didn't want to give away the answer at the end of this, 20 plus years old now. And in that movie, you know, we see for ourselves that the main character is trying to uncover the mystery as to this young child and what they're struggling with. You know, I see dead people. And the main protagonist is struggling to try to help this child and can't do it. But you find out, of course, spoiler alert, that it's not about the child so much as it's about the main character, Bruce Willis. And you realize that, yeah, the kid was right all along. I do see dead people. And the mystery, all the clues when you get to the end of the movie, and when you get to the end of the movie and they do a montage of all the scenes we saw beforehand, we realize, yeah, maybe we couldn't figure it out, but the movie was a real thing. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. All the clues were laid out. And despite the fact that we couldn't figure it out, you're like, yeah, I get it now. I get it. So, was it a mystery? Yes. Was it a mystery box? No, because there was an answer to it. But it was a great mystery, and it's a perfect example of something from a hit or miss director. It's kind of strange or whatever. Lastly, Rickard says, pro tip for all the players out there. If you want to make your DM happy, do them a favor and ask for the name of the second NPC they describe when you enter a city. They'll love you for it. Boom, you just threw a grenade into... You said the second NPC, not the first one, the second one. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Everybody have a great day. I'm so glad you could join me today, and thank you very much. Check out the show tomorrow for our Future Friday broadcast and everything else. We will be going over some of the tropey things in science fiction, but we're also going to talk about the Perseverance landing and how the hell can we turn that into like tabletop RPG content. There's a way to do it. I'll give you a hint. Gold Rush. I'll see you guys later.